Yes, so many people might be experiencing the changes. Because our mind is very hard to change. Huh? We covered think about the real self and we forget it. So we understood that the fourth state of the mind is required. Then we discussed about how to become a human being. And we also understand the need for knowledge is there. Good work alone is not enough. Well, if you understand, even from the point of view that what is evolved is the body, there is no other chance of evolution of this physical level. Then there is a mental evolution. Mind is constantly changing. So if we accelerate the evolution of the mind, the life is going to change completely. Do you still remember the four aids by Sri Aurobindo? No, I have been very busy. This will not work. I'm saying to keep in your mind. Practice alone will not work. And then four options. And last week we discussed about the introduction of fourfold practices to prepare for meditation. After all, goal is awakening. Goal is to know the real self. So if we do not use our intellect to think, nothing happens. Now you all are seekers. You might have realized people are talking about instant meditation, 1 minute meditation, 2 minute meditation, 5 minutes. You see, it has taken a long journey. What the beer guy is talking. I closed my eyes and 1 minute I practiced from the Headspace app and everything is done. Now, if you have listened to the previous 11 talks, examine your mind now. I'm not doing it. You have to examine your mind. Brandy is saying, yes, I will examine. Very good. So now ask yourself, I am unhappy. Example, I'm unhappy. Now we have two options. Do I want an object from the world to be happy? One option. Or I am seeking freedom from unhappiness. Tell me, what is your understanding? Can I repeat it again? Simple. I'm unhappy. Question is, am I seeking an object from the world outside, whether it is a person or a thing or a car or anything, to become happy? Or I'm seeking freedom from unhappiness. Both look same. Are you getting it? Freedom from unhappiness. Do I want? No, I feel very, insecure and fearful. So do I want an object for security so that, yes, you see that I have a big mansion, I have closed all the doors, thief will not enter into it. This is one way. Or do I want a freedom from insecurity? Here. Did you get it? In order to live, to seek a freedom, takes a long time to make you a seeker. The mind goes back again. Today I'm not paid. Today this guy did not pay me. Tomorrow someone paid me more, so I'll be attracted to that guy. I am stressed. Another question. Am I seeking an object to free myself from an object? Biggest example is Bill Gates. I have repeated many a times. Or am I seeking freedom from the stress? Well, so if you are seeking freedom from stress, freedom from unhappiness, freedom from insecurity, you are already a seeker. And then question of your getting upset will rarely enter into your life. We are on a journey, but I'm okay, good. Everything is okay in my life. Then you are not fully busy, you're not over busy. Because it is the mind that makes you busy. Stephen was saying, then you are not exploring. So I can joke with all of you, you are seekers. Are you thinking about this? Are you thinking in this way? So if you are thinking in this way, you are separating the two. When you are separating the two, that is the first primary practice of knowledge, known as Viveka, known as discernment. Without discernment, no success. Am I saying no? All the masters are saying this. I have to instantly discern. How long that practice continue? The moment you wake up until you retire to the bed. You are earning discernment, which is a wealth of the intellect. Whether you are in your office, in your relationship, eating something, doing something, you are there. Mind lives in that higher awareness. Mind lives in the fourth state of mind. Then meditation will definitely succeed. But it will also change your attitude, your behavior, your responses to the people, the things outside. That is what the prime. Do you still remember primary practices? Last week we covered primary practices, hidden practices, secondary practices. Primary practices, first is discernment, second is dispassion, and then we have six inner treasures of the intellect and the mind, and the last one is the intense desire. Then you'll have a natural, intense desire for the freedom. These are 9 primary practices. Before I go further, let me clarify you. When you are on the path, the discernment takes you to dispassion. Dispassion takes you to 6 inner treasures. 6 inner treasures to bring the intense desire. Only the discernment, every practice merges into the discernment. You have only to remember in the last that I'm living with discernment as a wealth in the intellect. You need not to think anything. You are living in the fourth state of the mind. Your mind is already one-pointedness. That is the beauty. But do you still remember the 3 hidden practices? If not, then listen to this beard guy again. Why should I repeat? Now, if you tell me, then I will repeat it again. And then comes the secondary practices. So if you are doing the secondary practices regularly without these 9 primary practices, you will definitely fail. Definitely fail. You will surely fail. Then the blame, complaint, and the reaction comes. Now come to another topic, but focused on the discernment. Do you see the difference between becoming happy and being happy? Becoming means I'm not happy. I got an object and then I became happy. Now you all are seekers, so I have to talk of the higher principles. How long we will continue with the same? So becoming happy and being happy. Being happy is my essential nature. Let this word give me lot of pain, insecurity, worries. But being happy means nothing can disturb me outside. You are a seeker. But without discernment, it will not happen. That is why I asked you a simple question, that I have lot of problem of insecurity. What exactly I want? Do I want an object outside for security, or do I seek freedom from insecurity? I am unhappy. Two questions. Do I want an object in the middle and then I will be happy, or do I seek freedom from unhappiness? Now see, the cause of unhappiness is not this object. Cause of happiness is inside me. A seeker knows this very well. Seeker lives in that awareness 24/7. Are you getting it? So simple. So by which process your mind leaves, stops craving, running after an object for happiness, for security, for managing the stress. Rather, it says, problem here is the problem of insecurity in the mind, problem of unhappiness in the mind. You see, you clear your doubt. This is what the knowledge is, and that knowledge comes from the discernment, and discernment separates. Where it separates? It separates the knowledge in the mind. Do you know the sky is not blue? How do you separate? How do you know that? You separate in your mind. So the moment your intellect separates with the knowledge, I'm not going to seek an object for happiness, but I'm seeking freedom from unhappiness that I'm feeling inside me. So what happens? Your blame, complaint, and reaction game is over. Your mind never says, you made me unhappy, you created this problem. You see that? That mind lives within oneself. Then success is very near. That is why we have heard many a times, listening and learning these principles. We will also understand later that why the teacher is important, how much is the role of a teacher. But until now, listening and learning the principles leads to detachment. Detachment leads to removing the delusion in the mind. What is that delusion? I feel lot of fears inside. So what is the delusion? I am seeking I am seeking fearlessness from an object of the world outside. Or am I seeking freedom from the fear that is burning within me? It is not outside. Any object in the world does not contain a stamp of fearlessness. Go to the Walmart, go to the coal, find out, is there a stamp of fearlessness? Buy it, you'll be happy. Stop the learning. Any car, any buck, $1 note or $10 note or $20. Is there written it is a fearlessness? What we do, we project. That I will take up later on. Huh? That I will take up later on. Practice. So I told you, when you practice Viveka, the discernment, it becomes dispassion. Then you will experience that what exactly is the dispassion. It simply becomes dispassion. And dispassion becomes the six treasures. Mind is craving for an object. Stamp. Mind has projected the stamp of security. Now you are living in a discernment and a dispassion. You say, oh, I know. There is no stamp of security and happiness there. So what is happening? Detachment naturally happens. Delusion is naturally removed. It happens. You all are seekers. So we have to understand that part. If we do not understand that, because the knowledge do not live inside during the practice of meditation, it is not going to change you. We will return back to the same stuff. Same problem. Same problem of fear. Same problem of anxiety. Same problem of duality. Then we all become Bill Gates after 27 years. Because the knowledge is not there. You see, that understanding is not there. Now you are getting an answer that why we fail in meditation. Why we fail in meditation. There are about, I told you before also, there are about 80 or 90,000 verses in Eastern wisdom from the different texts which guides us how to perform a particular karma, a primary level. So normally people pick up those verses and they say, this is what is written and we are doing it. And there are about maybe 20,000 verses on Upasana. Upasana means, oh, I practiced on Shiva, I practiced on Buddha, I practiced on this yantra, I practiced on chakra. How many petals? I saw those petals. Now I don't see it. Why? Because the knowledge is not clear. Only we have 4,000 verses on knowledge. So why to spend 80,000 verses, time on 80,000 verses, 20,000 verses? They talk of different visualization, direct entry into the meditation by learning these principles. Discernment, understanding, discernment. So make the discernment your friend. The entire life, your attitude, your responses to objects and the things will definitely change. Your perception will change. What is going to happen in your, say, in your personal life? You are related to a lot of people. We relate normally. Now, internally, you will find I should respond in this way. It will come naturally. And that will prevent you the distractions of the mind. 90% of the distractions are gone, whether in relationship to an object, to a person, to a thing, to the world outside. So you continue to live into the fourth state of the mind. That is what we picked up as a first session on Become a Seeker. And the moment there is an absence of discernment, my friends, it will take you to attachment. Definitely, there is no other way. If you don't live in discernment, you are already in the field of attachment. In our daily conversation, in our relationship with the people, in relationship to the things and our activities, there is absence of discernment. We are already attached. The way the windows open at default, absence of discernment opens the mind at default. What is mind at default? I like it, I dislike it. I get pain if you are with me. I get pleasure if you are. Understand this. So check every day. It may happen rarely, but if it happens, then we know the power of discernment. The moment you wake up, check. Mind should not be impulsive, instinctive, habitual. It does not want to enter into a comfort zone. Apply discernment. Why? Because if you do not apply discernment, then your mind will move towards prayas. That is what our master says. What is prayas? What I like and what is pleasant. It makes me forget. When I forget, I lose the fourth state of the mind. Then I will not succeed. Then I am seeking an object or a person or a thing outside in the world to be happy, to manage my stress, to live in fearlessness. But after some time, the mind says, I'm not fearlessness with this object or a person, so let me seek another object. Let me seek another object or a person to be happy, and this journey will continue. We start living at the unconscious level. You know the result. Anxiousness, depression, tiredness. There is an acronym used, TAT, T-A-T-T, tired all the time. That comes from this mind. We use attention deficit disorder, something like this. It's better to create some. So when we use the intellect, it comes forward, takes over the mind, start thinking about the shreyas, what is right and good, and the mind withdraws within. In that state of withdrawal of the mind, the meditation always succeeds. Do you ever forget your house? Until if we are not in coma. Or we are not intoxicated too much. Do you still remember the story? The husband sometimes good things goes to the women and sometimes good thing goes to the men. So no problem. Man gets intoxicated and then he was telling his wife, he was sitting in his home and he was telling her, can you take me to my home, beautiful women? He even forget that she is the wife. This is what happens when there is an absence of intellect, absence of discernment in the intellect. So there is a doubt in the mind. There is a doubt in the mind that this is not my home and this woman is not my wife. Same way, we have a doubt that the real self is too far from me. I have to do a lot of things to find the real self, but the real self is already within me. It is present here and now. Only the discernment will help you to understand this. Means discernment removes the doubt from the mind and the intellect. It gives you the clarity, it gives you the conviction. With that clarity, conviction, and the doubt free knowledge, you practice meditation, you always succeed. This is what our masters are saying. Now, can we summarize this? Buddha always said, understand. He extracted the main principles out of the 4,000 verses that I told you. So, what he said, Dukkham, Dukkham, Dukkham. Dukkham means sorrow, 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 suffering. Now, see, what is discernment? He uses the second word. Anityam, anityam, anityam. Sorrow is there, definitely I recognize, but it is impermanent, impermanent, impermanent. Why it is impermanent? Because now I realize seeking an object outside will never bring an end to the sorrow. But he went little deeper. That is the power of discernment. Third is Chanikam, Chanikam, Chanikam. Not only impermanent, the world outside, but Chanikam, it is momentary, momentary, momentary. Love at first sight. Now we talk a lot about, think about it, love at the first sight. And what happens to that love at the second sight? we don't think about it. Do you ever think of love at the third sight? We don't think about it. That is, momentary nature of the world. So third, and then when I realize in my head through the knowledge that the world outside is impermanent, is momentary, what is the result now in the mind? Shunyam, shunyam, shunyam. Shunyam means nothingness, nothingness, nothingness. This is the entire teaching of Buddha. But if I do not think, nothing will happen. Nothing is going to happen, my friends. So let us start our practice of meditation.